peoples, Dubster here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be having a look at doing a custom Viking longboat using this set right here from this year, from 2022. This is the Creator 3-in-1 set, set number 31132. Now, I've already done a review on this set, so I'll put a card up if you want to go and check out the review of all three builds that you can build from this Creator 3-in-1 set. And I've also done a comparison video where I compared this set to the Lego 2005 Viking ship, and I also compared it to a Mega Construx Viking ship. And in that video, this was my least favorite build. Now, it's not to say that this is a bad set. It just goes to show how good those other two builds are. But there are some things in this build that I would like to change. So this has become somewhat of a tradition for me because I did a custom build from the 2020 Creator 3-in-1 pirate ship. And then last year in 2021, we had the Creator 3-in-1 castle set, and now this year we have the Viking longboat. This one, it bloody stumped me. So what am I going to do? One of the reasons it stumped me is due to the build style of this set. So basically, it is all, the hull is all snot techniques where you clip on the outside, all two studs on the side. So to actually make a lot of changes means a really big redesign, and quite frankly, I don't really think it needs a major redesign. I think there's some things we can do to this to make some improvements but keep the basic Lego design. So my initial thought is I'm just going to make it longer. So this section, this midsection here, I'm going to recreate that, and I'm going to double that up. But basically the width of the build is going to stay the same. The bow and the stern are going to stay the same. So that'll all be the same width. So the basic hull design is going to be very similar. It's just going to be a bit longer. Now there's some things I thought about I would like to incorporate, which straight away would be some oars. It's going to be a little bit tricky to do with this design, with all these slopes and curves, to incorporate oar ports and then to work around all these shields as well. I'm really not sure how I'm going to achieve that. I'll just have to see what I can come up with. I'm going to do one of the major things after I extend the boat, of course, is going to be the sail and mast. So this is going to be a complete redesign for the mast and the sail. So this is all going to go, and I'm going to add a cloth sail to this build. And one of the other major things that I want to change here is there is a fair bit of nice detail in the hull of this build, but to me, it feels like it kind of gets a little bit lost because of so many color choices in this build. I mean, just in the hull, we have light tan and dark tan. We have light gray and dark gray. We have black, we have reddish brown, we have dark blue, we have yellow. We have, I'm not sure what this color is here, dark yellow maybe. We have some dark yellow in there. We have some medium nougat. We have some dark orange. We have, you know, olive green here. There's just so many different colors in this build. It actually gets a little bit messy. So I want to strip out some of those colors. I mean, I think there's 10, 11 different colors used in this hull. So I want to strip that out, and I want to bring it back to about 5 colors or so. So to try and make the whole thing look a little bit more uniform. I'm also going to take out the ballista. I'm just going to get rid of that. I'm going to take out the covered area. I do like the covered area, and Viking boats, from what I know, which is very little on Viking history, something I'm very fascinated by, but I don't think they had solid coloured covered areas like this. I know that they had where you could pull a tarp up over it, cover over it, and seek shelter that way. But I don't think they ever had a sort of a solid structure like this. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm no expert, but I'm going to get rid of this. So I just want to try and open up this whole hole to just be nice and open. So what does that mean for pieces for this set? Now, I did buy 2 of these sets, so I have got the pieces for 2 whole sets, but I will be using a lot of my own pieces, because if I want to change out colors, obviously I'm going to have to use my own pieces. The mast section is going to be a complete redesign, so I'm not going to use this style at all, so there's going to be a complete redesign there. So I'm probably going to use some of the traditional pirate ship masts from Lego. So yes, I am going to change up some of the pieces quite a bit. So there will not be any instructions. I know in previous years for some of the other builds, especially last year's castle, I've had endless people ask me about getting instructions for that build. Look, for me, this is something I just love to do. It's something I really enjoy doing. So for me to then create instructions means I have to, all this is out of my head. I just pull them apart and I just start building and I just see what I come up with. So I'd have to build it, then I'd have to pull it apart and rebuild it again and make instructions for it, which I got no idea how to even do that. So yeah, it's just really something I don't have the time for. So unfortunately, I can't offer instructions. So I do apologize for that. But like I said, it's something I just want to do because I enjoy it. So I hope you can appreciate it for that. So let's get in now and start pulling this thing apart so we can rebuild it. I've just got to say, I bloody love this set. I had such a great time putting this custom build together. And after all my concerns of what I was going to do to change up the original Lego set, it just came together so smoothly. And one of the changes that has the biggest impact for me, you'd think would be the cloth sail, but it's the oars. I just think the addition of the oars just made this build stand out from the original. And you can see by stripping out some of the unnecessary colors in the original Lego build, just makes this a more of a cohesive look all over. And one of the key things there, I think, is the shields as well. Having all the shields the same color. I went back and forth on whether to keep the old mixed colored shields or go with the one type of shield. And chatting to my mate Scotty in the UK, he sort of gave me the idea I should go with a one cohesive look for the shields, and I've got to thank him for that because that just came out a treat. And after playing around with 2 of the creator sets, not only did I do this build, I also made some changes to the Serpent, and I also recreated the Viking house as well. And towards the end of the video, I will show those off to you. And if you happen to watch my versus video, Lego versus Mega Constructs, I'm going to bring those 2 models out and we're going to have a look at all 3 together now. Now, of course, the first thing that was a change was the hull, was making the hull longer. So what I did is I stretched out this middle piece here. Now, I didn't actually double it up like I said I was going to do. Once I put the whole thing together and doubled up this midsection here, it actually felt a little bit too long. So I actually brought it back 4 studs. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but it just made it a little bit more tighter, and I think it suited the width a little bit more not to have it quite so long. And as for the width, just to give it a little bit more girth, I actually just use some plates in behind these slopes just to build it out a little bit. I think I only came 2 plates wider in the middle, and what that allowed me to do was just step this out slightly. So instead of the shields being all straight down the side, these 2 are the same, but then this is 1 plate out and then this is a 2nd plate out. So it just gives it a little bit more of a rounded look from bow to stern. And I think one of the big things with stripping the colors out was stripping out the regular yellow, and I went with black, so it really just blends in now and just ties the whole thing together. So I really stripped out a lot of the colors and just went with the black, the reddish brown, and the dark blue. So working out how I was going to do the oar ports actually worked out a pretty simple solution in the end. And instead of actually having an oar port per se, I just mounted them using these clips and the wide clips just to hold them in place. So changes inside the hull from the original set. I moved the cooking section from the rear to the front. I stripped out the ballista and instead put in a weapons rack. I put in these sail stays. So the idea of these, rear and front, is the sail comes down and it turns and rests on these when the sail's not in use. You can see there's plenty of storage down in the hull. So this crew, they're off on a raid. I've got a 20-man crew at the moment, and it's full of berserkers and shield maidens, and they're off on their raid. They got some supplies here. They got some beasts down in the hull at the rear. So out went the covered structure from the original build. And I've got a couple of the beasts down in there. So they're not going to go hungry when they come ashore. And at the back, by taking out the cooking section, I've put a chair and I've got the king or the chieftain at the back. I don't think that's probably accurate, but it was just something cool I wanted to do, and I think he's a great looking Viking. with the Gandalf beard, I believe that is. And of course we have the rudder at the back, and it's just getting steered here. And then in the middle here, when I was doing the hull, I just wanted something to break up between the two rows of shields. So I just come up with this piece here, just using some of the curved plates. And again, it's really just playing around with the pieces that I had from the set. And that's what I came up with, and I was really happy with that. But then I couldn't believe it, how it all just tied together and just worked out perfect for me to attach some rigging to. So let's have a look at the mast here. So you can see the rigging all the way to the top there. So I've joined two of these pieces, and then I've just joined it on down here, and that just worked out perfect. So these are nice and tight. Again, just using the same assembly from the original build. And I think the string would probably look better, but again, I'm just trying to use as many pieces as possible from the original set. Now the mast is a complete change, so I've used 2x2 round bricks coming up to one of the old pirate mast pieces, and then a more traditional mast piece on the top here. As for the sail, I used the same style sail as the 2005 Viking ship. So I just used that as a template. Went and got myself some material here. I've stiffened it up. I thought this material with this natural stitching in it just looked really cool. And as for extra rigging, so originally I used these pieces to tie back the base of the sail, the bottom of the sail, to tie it back, but it just didn't have a natural feel to it because it's kind of rigid on the ends here, and you can sort of see it here how they just bow a little bit, and it was really bad here where it clipped on here and sort of bowed around, and it just didn't have a natural feel or a natural look. So I went back to just using the string for there, and this doesn't do anything, it's purely for look. I've just got some rigging up over the top, and these pieces here, these are all pieces from the actual Lego set, so I really used as much as I could from the original set. And you can see that they're on a bit of tension here, which helps just hold that sail nice and taut. And down the bottom it's just using the rigid hose as the 2005 set does. Actually the 2005 uses the rigid hose at the bottom and the top, but this is a much heavier cloth than that 2005 model, so I wanted to do something a little bit more rigid and sturdy for the top of the sail. And of course I had to include a raven from the original build. They are just so cool. And just taking a look at the sail from the front, and you can see I've added some extra rigging from front to rear using the same assembly as the original Lego set, just down onto a Technic ball, just tied onto there, and just help to sturdy the mast. Now we can't have the Viking longboat without the Midguard Serpent. So I did change the Serpent up just a little bit, added a couple more pieces into the body just to make it a little bit longer. I added a few more pieces to the head just to make it a little bit more menacing. And I also rebuilt the Viking house. Now, I did have to change up quite a few colours in this build, and I did have to use a number of my own pieces, mainly in the structure itself, just to put this back together. And now for one last showing, one last comparison of all my buildable Viking ships. We have the 2005 Lego set, and we have the Mega Construx Viking LongBoat. And when I did my versus video, Mega Construx versus Lego, I actually picked the Mega Construx as my #1 Viking ship, and second was the 2005 Lego set, and last was the creator build. But now I think this one has taken the lead. Now, I might be slightly biased since I spent so much time on this one and had so much fun, but I just think it takes the realism of the Mega Construx and the impressiveness of the 2005 model to give me a combination of everything that I want in a Viking LongBoat. And I have to say, I'm very happy. So I hope you did enjoy this video. Let me know what you think. What do you like? What do you don't like? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to have a bit of a chat. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, of course. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, because I've got another custom ship coming, and I've got a complete mock of a ship coming as well, and that's going to be one hell of a project. So hit subscribe if you want to see that, and as always, a big thank you for taking the time to watch, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.